I'm excited because this week we're going to do something different. We're not just going to be removing things from you. That's what we do most of the time, trying to remove negative entities or clear limiting beliefs, get rid of all the darkness. Instead, it's time to expand you. Let's give you an opportunity to speak to your guides and maybe even begin your channeling journey. So let's get started. So you've decided that you want to be serious about connecting to your spirit guides or even beginning a channeling practice. What are the benefits to being able to do this? First of all, you're going to receive information, either through downloads, either through voice. You'll hear a voice talking to you. You'll just suddenly realize things. You can also receive healing. So all of these are very positive reasons to begin this. The main thing that you really want to do in this case is you want to focus in on changing your frequency. We all are vibrating at a frequency that is commensurate with our emotional state and our mental state as survival beings on this 3D planet. So we have to change that frequency in order to connect to beings that are at different dimensions where there's no such thing as time and there's no such thing as worry and fear and so many of the other things that we're so used to. We're very different from each other. And it's really important to remember too that we are equals in different ways. We are powerful beings, even though we often look at these multidimensional beings, the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Ascended Masters, the angels. We often look at them and say, gosh, they're so much more powerful than we are. They know so much more than we do. They are way beyond us. But I think that's really shortchanging what we are, because we're multidimensional beings. Our main consciousness is centered in the 3D realm right now because that's what we wanted. But we are so much more than that. And actually, we are at the same frequency level. We are at the same dimensional level as all of those beings that I just talked about. So all we really have to do is shift to a different version of ourselves when we go ahead and connect to them. So the alignment process comes from a couple of different things. One, confidence. You need to know that you can do this. This is one of those things that you came here to do. You came here completely equipped to make that connection. The other thing it takes is a type of concentration. It's an intention. It's deliberate intention. You're sitting peacefully, moving away from 3D distractions and focusing 100% on making an intentional shift to your frequency. And you wonder, how in the heck do I do that? Well, each week I've been releasing a healing session associated with videos like these so that you can tune in and receive energy from me and the Hathors to help you shift from whatever you're experiencing right now to something new. In this case, the healing session for this week is really going to help you with this process. So I'm going to walk you through step by step in that video while providing energy and energy healing to help you get to that place. So that's the biggest recommendation I have, is watch that other YouTube video. And you can see that right here in this link, and I'll also link it at the end and in the description below. So don't worry too much at this moment about what is the process for raising your vibrational frequency. Actually, I have a million videos, well, okay, maybe only like 150, talking about raising your emotional, energetic, and mental frequency. This comes from practice on a day-to-day basis, and I give all kinds of hints and clues and tips on how to do that. I also run a program where I help people go through that whole process and change from wherever they are right now, and a lot of times people are suffering to a great degree, to removing all of that suffering, expanding. If you're in need of that sort of attention to detail and guidance, then you should definitely check that out, and there's plenty of links below for that as well. In the meantime, assuming that you've been working on yourself, assuming that you have been raising your vibrational frequency, not been getting upset about things all the time, not being stuck in a depression state or being tormented by negative entity attachments, any of those things, if you've been able to begin to step out of that and not just be surrounded by those negative thoughts and negative experiences, then you are well on your way to be able to raise that frequency to connect to guides. The main method that I teach to do this is to simply ask a question. And what you want to do is go into a bit of a meditative state, close your eyes, and ask a question and wait for an answer. Just like you were asking anybody that you know, hey, how many brothers and sisters do you have? You wait for the answer. You don't interrupt them before they've had a chance to answer. You just sit and wait. In this meditative state, when you're trying to speak to your guides and you ask a question like this, if you wait for a while and you don't hear an answer, then go ahead and ask the question again. However, there is many cases where they have actually answered you, but you don't realize that they've answered you because the answer comes in a different type of phrasing or in a different method altogether. So yeah, you might hear a voice that's using words and sentences in your natural language, but you also might just suddenly see imagery, or you might just suddenly know the answer and think to yourself, why did I even ask that question? I already knew the answer to that question. But think back, 2 minutes before, you did not know the answer to that question. That's the way that you have downloaded that information. So be open to whatever way it comes through. Another big one is to refer to yourself in the third person. Why does Xane get so upset when this happens and when that happens? Why can't Xane connect to his spirit guides, right? Instead of saying, why can't I connect to my spirit guides? Because this brings you and your vibrational frequency higher, because you're not trapped inside the limiting beliefs of your own body. You are instead looking at yourself almost from your higher self's perspective. This brings in that high frequency answer. So those are a couple of methods that you can use. And if you do that healing session that's releasing this week as well, this is going to help you. For those of you that are dealing with negative entity attachments or unexplained experiences that are happening to you, symptoms that you don't prefer, what you may find is when you do this practice, you will hear a voice. And this voice will not sound totally right. It won't sound exactly like a high vibrational being speaking to you. If you're not totally sure if the information or the voice or whatever that's coming through is from your high vibrational spirit guides, ascended masters, and so forth, or if it's from your negative entity attachments or some sort of negative being, there's a few things that you can listen for that will help clue you in. A high vibrational being will never tell you what you should do. Should is a judgment word. A high vibrational being has no judgment whatsoever. They won't warn you that something bad is about to happen because from a high vibrational perspective, there is no such thing as something bad. Everything brings something great. Even if it's bad at the time, later on, you will be proven to be a transition or something amazing, something that will help you. So always understand that the difference between those voices are high vibrational and lower vibrational voices. They're never, ever going to tell you that you're doing things wrong, that you better do this. It's only if you bring fear into the experience that you might actually dig up some lower vibrational beings, or if you're coming from a very low frequency place yourself. Again, like I said, if you're already dealing with negative entity attachments, if you're already very unhappy about your life, or you're stuck in depression or many other things, then you're not going to be at the highest frequency, and you're not going to be able to bring in the commensurate high frequency being. So that's why it's really important to put some effort into making sure that you're there. Okay, so let's say that you're there, that you're at that high frequency and you've been working on this for a while and you're just not hearing anything, seeing anything, or knowing anything. What are you going to do? If you handle that in a negative way, if you get impatient, if you get disappointed, if you get frustrated, then that is going to just lower your vibrational frequency. So instead, you want to say, it's not time yet. Everything that happens to me is actually happening for me. Everything happens in divine timing. So be patient. Understand that it doesn't always happen right away. And remember, you came here with spiritual gifts. And if you haven't discovered them yet, that's exciting because that process, that discovery is going to be amazing. So just relax. Know that it's going to happen. Don't wish that it'll happen. Don't want it to happen. Know that it will happen. And that's what makes it happen. And when you know it's going to happen, you don't have to put any effort in at all. You can sit back and relax. I know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. And then all of a sudden, you'll probably have it happen. Some techniques to channeling. Let's say that you're connected to your spirit guides and you can ask questions and you can receive answers. There's a difference between hearing the answer and then speaking it out loud. Let's say you want to be a channel and you want to channel for other people, even if it's your friends or your spouse or whatever. Sometimes that connection from hearing the voice and having it come out of your mouth is somewhat difficult. So there's an intermediate step that you can try, and that is automatic writing. If you are someone who touch types very quickly, then this works really well because you can close your eyes and you can just simply start moving your fingers and ask a question and then see what comes out of your hands. You're not even necessarily thinking about the words that you're typing. You can just kind of allow that information to flow through your fingers. Oh, I'm just typing stuff. Oh, there's words that are coming out of me. I wonder what those words are. Again, you've got your eyes closed. I wonder what those words are. And then you get all done. You feel like you're done. And then you open your eyes and you read it. And you might find some amazing stuff. You might find Gazorbablap because you haven't gotten there yet. But keep working on it because eventually it will come through. Then, if you get really good with automatic writing, then you can start working on doing the same thing where you move your mouth, you engage your vocal cords, and you let this information flow through. That is the full channeling experience because your consciousness is kind of stepping aside and allowing that information to come through. It's also possible to actually think about what the next word is, essentially asking, okay, what's the next word? And then one word at a time being given the information. For everyone, this is different. And if you came here specifically to do channeling, to have this channeling gift, then it's going to come very easy for you. If you came here with featuring a different gift, then that doesn't mean that you can't channel. It means that maybe the process will be a little bit longer. It'll take a little more effort on your part. But if you're excited about it, but if you're motivated, if you're enthusiastic, if you're into it, then it will come. I'm excited about this, and you could probably tell by the energy I was using to describe it all. It is a fascinating experience. And to be honest with you, my channeling is very powerful when I automatic write. And when I speak, it's kind of there. Here's another way that I channel. When I'm working with a client and they have an issue and they ask me a question about their issue and I have no idea what the answer is, and inside my head I'm thinking, I have no clue what I'm going to respond to them with, then all of a sudden I'll just start talking anyway. Well, it's probably like this. And then the next thing I know everything there is to know about the question that they've just asked me. It just comes out automatically. And it comes out in conversation rather than getting into the meditative state and doing all of this. So you've just got to be open to how it occurs. And if you watch different light workers and different healers, you're going to see all kinds of different gifts and different methods that they use. So inundate yourself with all the possibilities and experiment and try it and have fun with it. That's the biggest thing. When you bring joy to this experience, then you're going to receive more joy. And talk about a high frequency. You're really going to be able to excel at whatever it is that you want to excel at. Because you can be a child in this experience and allow that information to flow through you and allow your awe to be engaged. When that happens, then anything is possible. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you watch the companion video that will give you the healing session that will get you through all of that. I also have activations that you can download from my website that are very powerful and very useful. I'll leave a link in the description for that below. Another thing that you might enjoy is that when I record these videos, I make mistakes as I talk. Most certainly. And a lot of times I'll release those bloopers on the shorts videos, you know, those very skinny ones that are 15 to 60 seconds long. So you can check those out and get a little bit of a kick out of the mistakes that I make when I'm recording these videos. Well, thank you so much for watching. I really hope this helped, and I really hope that this healing session helps as well. I love you unconditionally, and I'll see you in the next video.